Okay, I realize after this weekend that not many people are good at coiling ropes like us cavers do here. So I'm going to demonstrate how to coil or do a caver coil for y'all if I can untangle this mess. This is, if you have an abrasion resistant rope, this is a easy way to carry it that doesn't require a rope bag, doesn't require all that work of putting one in there. But you start out kind of guessing how much tail you need. It's really, there's no rhyme or reason, you just kind of guess entirely. But probably around 5 to 10 feet depending on the rope length. But you leave about 5 to 10 feet of rope as the tail, and then you just start coiling around your knees, trying to keep all the coils about the same size so you don't go up your knees and get smaller and smaller as you go up. That gets annoying. And you also try not to really manhandle the rope into the coil, because then it'll twist the rope real bad. So I start coiling, and hopefully this is a shorter rope because I don't want to run out of battery or anything on the camera. And this one's a little twisted, but not too bad. The ropes do get a little twisted doing this, but they tend to, it's probably 2 or 3 twists. They end up in it total, and that's not too bad to get out of the rope. A lot easier to get out those twists than about 1,000 twists that a figure 8 does or something. Alright, so here we have probably 5 feet as well, since this is a shorter rope. And right here where the ropes come together, there's multiple different types of knots you can tie. You can just do an overhand like that to save space. Or you can do a square knot. It doesn't matter so much. Or do a square knot just because that's usually the standard way of doing it. And then keeping the ropes from one loop from getting smaller or one getting bigger, you kind of just wrap around the coil with your free end you just created, and the other side you go the opposite way. So see, this one's going around this way, so you want, and I may not be thinking and get this wrong, but you want to go around the opposite way. And the reason for that is it won't undo itself when you try to tie the next knot. Yeah, I've been there. Yeah, it's one of those things that even after all this time I still do that stupid mistake of going around the wrong way. And I did leave a little bit more tail than I needed. Once more, and you can tighten it down real tight, or if you're going on a horrible cave that's real tight and you got to drag the rope through it, it does help out. But then you finish it off with just like a square knot again, and then feed the rope back underneath the wraps you just did. And that's really all there is to it. There's variations on the coil, of course. Everybody has their own way of doing things. I sometimes, rather than going back underneath, if I have a lot of tail left over and I want it to not untie itself, it's easy, or wrap it around the rope and tie essentially a barrel knot around the coil, which is a little annoying to tie if I don't leave enough. I did try to overdo it, but it keeps it from untying itself, because that's an annoying thing to have these things. They generally, if you don't do something like that, they just slowly loosen themselves up during the cave trip. But that's not a big deal. You can always tighten them down again real easy. And when undoing a coil to rig the rope, you want to pay attention to which end you have, because there is an end that if you pull it, it'll turn the rope into a big mess, because there's an outside and an inside end, and one of them is generally on the bottom too. So you want the one that's usually is on the inside to be the one that you're undoing, because like I said, otherwise it'll be a big mess. Okay, even it out. Yeah, that's a caver coil. You just wear that through the cave. You do need abrasion resistant rope to do that though. You don't want to wear some flimsy thing through a cave, because it won't make it through. And then people won't need a map in the cave anymore, because the rope will be shredded all through the cave. They just follow the strings. And we don't generally like to do that. Well, we don't like our rope to do that. Anyways, that's a caver coil.